I'm Amy from Trees, Not Tees. We offer race participants the chance to turn down a race t-shirt at the end of a race and plant a tree instead. And today we are talking to Emily, who is the marathon coordinator at the Meadows Marathons in Edinburgh. Hi, Emily.
Hi, it's lovely to be here.
Oh, thanks so much for talking to us. So the Meadows Marathons are organised by Edinburgh students, is that right?
Yeah, correct. So the Meadows Marathon is organised by a team of students from all different universities across Edinburgh. This year we've got from Napier, Edinburgh and QMU. So we're widespread now. It's great. It's nice to be involved with people because otherwise you don't tend to get a chance to mix sometimes.
Absolutely. So how did the races come about?
So Meadows Marathon has been around since 2007. So yeah, it was, I believe it started life as a fun run in the middle of the Meadows, and then it evolved to include a half marathon, then a 5k, a 10k, and then they added the full marathon. So then it became sort of like a bigger deal. So once we added the full marathon, that's when it started to become a big repeating events. We are one of the big 5 events in the Meadows, they call us. Like, so the Meadows have 5 big events every year, and the marathon's one of them. So that's really exciting. So yeah, it's great. I love the Meadows.
So the Meadows is quite a sort of well-loved area in Edinburgh, isn't it? Could you tell us a bit about the area?
Yeah, so the Meadows is brilliant because it's beautiful. I don't know if you've ever walked through the Meadows. It's amazing. It's like a breath of fresh air in the middle of all of the city. It's just a big, massive open space, and it's like, where did this come from? It's just always, and everybody that's from Edinburgh, they'll tell you there's always a story about the Meadows. Everyone has their own, and everybody went to the Meadows as a child, or they go in the summer for barbecues, or they do all of the above. And as you get older, it changes, but there's always the Meadows. It's great, and it's so well loved and protected by Edinburgh that to be able to run an event of this size in the Meadows, it's brilliant. It's second to none, really. It's you can't beat it. It's great.
Oh, really special. Sounds amazing. So at the Meadows Marathons, you have now, you're supporting 4 of these UN Sustainable Development Goals.
Yes.
So can you tell us, first of all, like what inspired you to do that, to try and make the events more sustainable?
Like I said, obviously, having run the events in the Meadows, because it's such a well-loved space, you don't want to be the ones that are going in and you're leaving it a mess. Like, you hear all these horror stories about people holding big events and then the ground being, the grass all being ruined and there being rubbish everywhere, and like that was the last thing we wanted. I've always been very against that. We don't want to leave it any different to the way we found it, to be honest. Like, you can't go into someone's house and then leave it a mess. Like, it's not something that you want to be doing. So because of that, and obviously because of just the state of the world, the way that things are changing, sustainability is becoming a really big thing, and everybody needs to be a bit more sustainable, and they need to start thinking about the things that we're doing. So we wanted to kind of set an example for other events maybe that were running in the same way, that sustainability is possible, it's doable, it's not, it's just a matter of making small changes. It doesn't have to be a massive thing, it's just small things here or there, and then they all add up to make it a sustainable effort.
Absolutely. So that's what I was going to say. So how has that process of adopting those sustainable goals been? How have you found that whole process?
Yeah, to be honest, it's not been, like I said, it's not been a big change all at once. Like, it's not been all of a sudden we need to be a sustainable race. Like, it's been a process of, right, how can we become more sustainable? And we've done things like sustainable cable ties. Like, we've been buying reusable cable ties to put our signage up. And we have to top them up every year, but it's not plastic that's going in the bin at the end of the race. It's not, we keep our signage, we don't print new signage every year. We're very careful about what we put dates on, like our t-shirts and all these kind of things. Like, they don't have dates on them, so that we're not just like, okay, well, that year's done, they can all go in the bin. Like, it's things we can reuse, we can recycle. We're very, very keen on the less print materials the better. So obviously, I mean, we don't do flyers, we don't do like things like that. We've got posters, but they're all very like sustainable, and they don't like, they go in the bin properly. When we're done, we go back and get them and stuff. So it's like they don't get thrown away, they get disposed of properly. And even last year, we had to, obviously with everything that was going on, we were lucky enough to be able to put on a virtual race for our participants, and we did runner packs. So we sent out like packs which we delivered ourselves as well. We did that in Edinburgh. Instead of sending them all out, we delivered them all by hand. Well, as many of them as we could. And they were all sustainable boxes, and the parcel tape was sustainable, like the stuff inside them, the packing peanuts, they were all dissolvable in water, like things like that. So like I said, it's just little things, like little things that you think of that you don't even like. Cable ties is the one that always gets me. Sustainable cable ties, like who knew that was even a thing? But it's a thing. Sustainable everything.
Yes.
You just have to and look.
You're looking at your whole process and every little sort of aspect within it.
Yeah,
absolutely. So obviously you work with us at Trees Not Tees. How was implementing that? How was that setting that up?
Well, it kind of seemed like a match made in heaven, really, didn't it? It kind of seemed like everything that needed to be, like everything that you wanted to do, it was everything that we wanted to do. So it was a experience and a service that we were delighted to be able to offer our runners, because quite often you do get runners that, oh, I don't really want a t-shirt. So it's like it worked really well, and people go, oh, that's a great idea. And it's a brilliant idea, because people that are running marathons, like you get some people that do want the t-shirt because they're like, I've run a marathon, I want the t-shirt to prove it. And you do get the people that are like that, but there's quite a lot of the time you get people who run them for fun, or run them quite often. They're like, don't need another t-shirt. So it's brilliant. It's a great service to be able to provide to them. It's brilliant. It's really great.
And did you find the process of signing up with us went quite smoothly, or were there any issues that you had to work around?
Absolutely, we had no issues at all. We I believe you've been working with our sponsorship coordinator, Shannon. She says she's not got a bad word to say about anybody. She's are brilliant. Use a reply. It's great. We have no issues at all.
Fantastic. That's really great to hear. Obviously, we're delighted to work with you, and you're thinking about this in such a holistic way. It's a real pleasure to work with you guys as well. So your races also raise money for the Edinburgh Students Charities Appeal. That's obviously a really important aspect of the races. Could you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, so ESCA is the parent company of Meadows Marathon. So they are our board is ESCA, and they have a board of trustees who is made up of, there's a few of them on there that have been marathon coordinator in the past or have been involved in it. So and the marathons are their big event for the year, so it's one of the bigger events that they put on for the year. So every year they select 3 charities: a local charity, a national charity, and an international charity. So this year it's Health in Mind, who are an Edinburgh-based mental health charity. Then there is the Rock Trust, who are a homelessness charity, so they're our national charity. And then there is Mercy in Action, who are they work between the UK and the Philippines to eradicate poverty within the UK, like within both of the places. So there's that. So every year and then all the money that comes from the race, all the profits, they get split between the 3 charities.
Right.
So when signing up, participants are given the option to raise money for ESCA's 3 charities, or to raise money for a charity of their own choice. So it's not just those 3 charities that we work with every year. It's hundreds of charities every year who choose their own when they sign up, and then they fundraise on their own terms, and then it all comes through us. So it's great to be able to offer them that opportunity, like that they get to fundraise for so many different charities and so many different causes, and all the charities that we get to work with are always so grateful that we can, and it's great to be able to offer them that. Like, it's great to be able to give back a wee bit to charities, especially ones that are maybe small charities that are just starting, that people haven't heard of, and to give them that bit of awareness that they really need. So it's great.
That's brilliant. It's such a lovely positive aspect to the races as well. So how would you then describe the Meadows Marathon races to anyone who is maybe considering taking part?
I love the Meadows Marathon. I know I'm biased. I'm very much unbiased, but I really love the Meadows Marathon. See, when you're standing there, I think, like I was saying earlier, the Meadows is such a well-known iconic spot. So to be able to run through the Meadows, and it's on a loop as well. So that's what's different about our race course. Our race course is a loop, and obviously, like, depending on the distance that you're running, you do more loops or less. So and to watch them all running through the Meadows in circles, it's really surreal. Like, I remember like standing on the finish line, just being like, what is going on? Like, there's so many people, and it's just everyone's so happy, and you've got like Bristol Square, and it's like all these like really well-known spots that just come to life on a Sunday morning in the middle of the city centre, and there's just all these people, and they're all like ready to go, and everyone's in such high spirits, and it's brilliant. Even from the participants to the volunteers to the committee to the general public who aren't even who are just walking through the meadows on their daily, and they're like, oh, what's going on?
What's
like,
going on? Yeah.
And they stop and they watch and they get involved, and it's brilliant. It's great. It's really inclusive to everyone. It's not about who can run the furthest or who can run the fastest. It's about raising money for charity and being together in the meadows and doing something, which I think is really important this year as well, considering we've had a year off as such, not through any fault of anyone's own, but obviously we've had a year off and we've not been in the meadows. So I think everyone is absolutely desperate to get back in the meadows. Like I've never been so excited to get up at 4 a.m. in my life and be in the meadows. I've never been so excited. It's going to be great. Like
it sounds really wonderful. Exciting. It sounds like such an amazing atmosphere. Oh, and I hope you have fantastic races this year. Thank you. Thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us, Emily. It's been really lovely talking to you.
Thank you. Anytime.